Hey everyone, and welcome back to the homestead. It is starting to get colder here in Pennsylvania, and so I've been diligently working on getting some winter projects wrapped up so that we are ready for the winter, so that my animals are comfortable and healthy. And so the last couple videos that you guys have watched, I got the barn insulated and that project all wrapped up. And then earlier this year, I did a video on like our rabbitry demolition. I can leave a link up here for you guys to check that out. And when we moved the rabbits into the new barn, I can leave a link here for the barn tour if you haven't seen that yet. Before I moved the rabbits in, I did a really deep clean of each of the cages, and I regalvanized them all to help them last longer, to get rid of any rust and so on and so forth. So today, while I have a nicer day, I do believe it's probably between 65 and 70 degrees today, so not freezing, which is good. I'll be able to use the hoses without freezing. I'm going to go ahead and get the last of my rabbit cages deep cleaned and regalvanized. I want to set up 2 as grow out cages, and then I'm going to be selling the other 2 because I don't need them anymore. So that is the game plan for today. I want to show you guys how I deep cleaned my cages and the regalvanizing process so that you guys know how to do it too. So let me show you the cages that I am starting with and what you're going to need for the regalvanizing process. So I have 3 cages left that I need to do, and I did get these from KW Cages. I can find the link for them and leave them down in the description below for you, but they're basically 2, I think 32 by 37 inch like individual cages, and then they're about 6 feet long together, something like that. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take all of these over to my driveway. I'm going to remove all of the bowls, the plastic guards, the plastic mats, and then I'm going to take a torch and burn like all of the hair that's stuck to it off. And then once I get all of the hair and like I got to get all the leaves and stuff out because they're underneath our fruit trees, so they're collecting a bunch of leaves, so I need to get all the leaves out of there. Like I said, burn all of the hair off, and then once that's done, I'm going to give them a really good pressure wash and kind of scrub them a little bit with a wire brush to help get rid of some of the calcified urine off of the cages. And then we're going to go ahead, once they're nice and dry, we're going to go ahead and regalvanize them. And what I'm using is a regalvanizing compound that uses the cold process. It's basically like it's in a spray paint can. You just spray it on. It's really easy. I will get a couple cans and I will show you that. And I just picked it up at Tractor Supply. I do believe you can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot or even order it off of Amazon, but I just picked it up at Tractor Supply. No big deal. So yeah, I am going to get all of these cages moved over to the driveway and start burning all of the hair and stuff off of them first. All right, so I got the cages out on the driveway here, and I put my kids on removing all of like the plastic pieces and mats and stuff out. So while they're doing that, I'm going to show you the cold galvanizing compound that I bought and used for the other cages. The rabbits that are in the barn have been in these cages now for several months, and there's been no health issues. And a lot of other people that do this to the rabbit cages have no health issues as well. So yeah, this is what we'll be using at the end of our deep clean process. And this will just help to protect the metal, keep it from rusting, and make it last a whole lot longer because these cages were a bit pricey. And I want to protect my investment for the long run. So we'll be cleaning and regalvanizing today. All right, so we got all of the plastic door guards and the mats out. Those are over on the ground there. And the plastic guard around the top of the hay feeder. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take my little hand torch and we're gonna go through and burn all of this hair and debris off of the cage.
And start burning.
Okay, so all of the cages have been burned and scraped with my wire brush here. Well, one of the wire brushes. This one's a little bit smaller, but I just brushed it with the wire brush to help kind of break up any chunks of calcified fur and urine and all that. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And the next step in this process is to get them pressure washed. And this is going to help remove even more of that calcified urine that's on the cages. And just really get them nice and clean before I do the galvanized coating. Alrighty, so all 3 of our cages are pressure washed. They're not perfect. You know, they still have some of that calcified urine on them. It's just not going to come off. But I got it as best as I could. The majority of it has come off. So now I'm just going to let these dry in the sun. And once they're good and dry, I'll take them out back and we'll start getting the galvanizing on them. The galvanizing spray that I'm using has absolutely horrible overspray. So if you are using it, I highly recommend that you have a backdrop, a tarp, a box, or a really open area to be using this in, because like I said, the overspray is horrible, and considering we're spray painting basically wire, it's going to go everywhere. The first time that I did this, I did it on the driveway, and the driveway was covered, the flowers were covered, I was covered, and so after that first 1 or 2 that I did, I ended up taking them out back, where there's nothing that can get oversprayed with the galvanizing spray. So definitely recommend using a tarp, a box, a room where you don't, a painting room, a carport, you know, something that you don't care that gets galvanized. Do that there because it will get everywhere. All right, I'm gonna let these dry for a little bit and then I will be back to show you how we galvanize them. All right, my cages are all dry, so I've carried them back to the back here, where if anything gets sprayed, it's not gonna matter too much. It's mostly just open space and the wood shed, so it's fine back here. So I got it set up on some sawhorses, and I'm going to be using this little like spray can attachment so I can spray it up and down instead of using my finger, because that gets tiring when you're doing a big project like this. Each cage takes about 2 cans of the galvanizing spray, and I just kind of do it one side at a time. Alright guys, so the cages are done being galvanized. You can pretty much handle them, I think the can said like 10 to 15 minutes after you've coated them. but you want to wait a good 24 hours before you use them. So I'm gonna let these sit overnight into tomorrow, and then I'll be able to put like the plastic door guards on and the guards on the hay feeders and all of that stuff tomorrow. But before I do that, I'm gonna give them all a good scrub so that they're nice and clean before I stick them back on. But that pretty much wraps up the video. And then once these are ready, 2 of them I'm going to be listing for sale locally. I am not paying to ship these suckers anywhere. So if you're local to me and looking for rabbit cages, hit me up. If not, tough cookies, sorry. But 2 of these are going to get fixed up real nice to be sold. And then one of them, because I already have the one ready to go, one of them is going to be set up as a grow out cage for my kits this winter. And that way they just have a little bit more space to grow out. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole in the divider. So these are 2 cages basically, and I'm going to cut a hole in the divider so they have access to both sides of the cage in order to just give them a little bit more room to move around, get away from each other, and just ultimately have more space to grow. So that is the plan. So the next video that I'm going to do for you guys is showing you how I am building the stand and roof for the grow out cages. I'm basically reusing all of the scrap wood from the old rabbitry because most of it is already the size that I need. I just need to move a couple 2x4s around and give them some legs and build a roof structure of some sort. So it just made sense to reuse all of that stuff that I have. Plus it saves me money because I don't have to buy new stuff. So that is the plan. So I will be making a video about that probably in the next day or 2. Like I said, I'm really trying to hustle and take advantage of this week of really nice weather. It's supposed to be in the 60s and 70s all week and dry, which is ideal. So like I said, I'm kind of in hustle mode and wrapping up all of these outside projects before winter really sets in here. So yeah, that's about it for today. If you guys have any questions about regalvanizing your rabbit cages, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and remember to grow where you're planted.